Hi, my name is Mikko Hyppönen and I'm the Chief Research Officer for F-Secure Corporation. And here at F-Secure we worry about the security of the net. And what we're worried about are the online criminals. What makes online criminals different from all the other kinds of criminals is that they operate online here on the internet, which means there is no geography, there are no distances. Criminals who otherwise could never reach you can reach you online. I mean, think about this. What's the most likely real-world crime you might become a victim of? Somebody might steal your car, or somebody might break into your house and steal your TV, or maybe steal your wallet at the metro. I mean, that might happen. But whoever does that lives in the same city as you do. Like, we don't have to worry about car thieves from, let's say, South Korea flying over to steal our cars. I mean, that never happens. But when you go home and open up your computer and you get online, then things change. Then, indeed, you do have to worry about online criminals from South Korea, or online criminals from Ukraine, or online criminals from Argentina. Suddenly, these criminals who could have never reached you can reach you. Because on the internet, we have no borders, we have no distances, we have no geography. In fact, I would claim that right now, today, it's no longer the most likely place for us to become a victim of a crime here in the real world. It's probably now more likely to become a victim of a crime online. And this means that internet is as if somebody would have given free plane tickets to all the criminals of the world. All the small-time petty criminals can now reach you, and they could not have reached you before the internet. And that doesn't mean that the internet would be a bad thing. Of course it's not. Internet has brought us much more good than bad. But it's something that we do have to take into account. And we can divide the attackers online into different groups based on what are their motives. We have basically three main groups of attackers. Group number one are criminals. They do it to make money. Group number two, hacktivists or online activists, groups like Anonymous and so on. And then we have group number three, which are attacks by governments, including things like Stuxnet, which was a government operation to target the nuclear program of Iran, and cases where governments use technology to spy on their own people. And the risk of getting hit by these attacks is quite different. Criminals, the first group, they target everybody. They don't really care who you are or where you are, as long as they can make money. And money is a great motive. People do all kinds of things to make money, so obviously criminals will operate online as well if they can make money with it. And they can make money with it. We have millionaires online who became millionaires through online crime. And if that's possible, this is not a problem which is going to go away. The mechanisms they use to make money with their online attacks range from stuff like taking over computers so they can send spam from those computers, all the way to banking trojans, which will steal money while you do online banking from your infected computer, to keyloggers, which collect credit card numbers from an infected machine when the owner of that machine is doing online shopping and typing in his personal details. Hacktivists, groups like Anonymous, have really risen up over the last 2 years or so, and the attacks they do are much more harder to define, because they are not trying to make money. They're trying to send a message, or they're trying to protest, or sometimes they do it just for the fun of it. A typical end user might not really be a typical victim for attacks like these, except indirectly. So, for example, we've seen cases where groups like Anonymous break into services to send some kind of a message, and to make it as visible as possible, they release all the information they stole, which might include personal details of the customers or users of these services. And there really isn't much the end user could do about those services, or about to secure themselves against those kind of things. And whenever you start speaking about risks like these, people get scared. When they realize that the criminals really are out there, and they realize how they work and how they make money by taking over computers, the typical reaction I see is that people said, oh my God, I never knew it's so bad. I'm never going to go online again. Or I'll never do any online shopping again. Or I never use my credit card online again. And that's not really the right reaction. That's not really what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is that the internet is no different from the real world. The real world has problems. The real world has criminals. So does the online world. There are criminals in every city. There are criminals on the streets of this city right now. Yet people live and work in this city. They just take precautions. And exactly the same thing applies to the online world. Yes, it's true. There are criminals on the internet. No, that doesn't make the internet unusable. You just have to take precautions. So what kind of precautions? Well, for example, backing up your data. If you somehow lose your data, if you lose your computer, you lose your laptop, you lose your smartphone, make sure you have a backup. That's a no-brainer. Everybody should do that. Also, make sure you're fully patched. Make sure you're up to date. Make sure you're running the latest version of the operating system, of the applications you use, and of the security product you use. And make sure that your product is securing you properly. Make sure that if you have an antivirus, that it's really running and up to date and getting the updates. The internet is for the benefit of all of us, and we really shouldn't let the criminals tell us how to use the internet. Thank you very much.